So now that you've survived Omega's first form, it's time to deal with his first transformation, male and female. Omega M and Omega F will appear and will both cast Firewall. When this cast resolves, the 4 closest party members to each boss will get a debuff that will make them only be able to damage that specific boss. Meaning, the 4 closest to Omega F will only be able to hurt Omega F. This cast takes about 2.5 GCVs to finish, so anything that's a gain on 2 should be used before the cast resolves. Additionally, if your party has a Scholar or a Ninja, you should stack your highest DPS members on the one boss and chain and or bug that same boss. Omega F's autos do magic damage, so Dark Knights can get more value from being on F. Once Firewall finishes, both bosses will cast a Tank Monster on their primary threat. The bosses are targetable for about 30 seconds from when they spawn, and cast Party Synergy before teleporting away. Party Synergy randomly tethers 4 players to the other 4, and assigns 1 of 2 debuffs to the entire party. You can find your tethered partner by matching the symbol above your head with the matching symbol. The debuff applies a magic bolt unless you satisfy the debuff's range requirements. And because they both have a minimum range requirement, split the symbols across the map from each other. We figure out which side we are going by lining up during the cast, and the leftmost symbol goes left, and unsurprisingly, the rightmost of each symbol goes right. And once we know if we are left or right, we have to find our reference point. The giant eye that spawns on a random cardinal or intercardinal is the reference point. Looking at the eye, left goes to the left, and right goes to the right. Then we need to have an order in which the party lines up based on the symbol, and one of the sides has to anchor. However, before you are sprinting off at your spot, a bunch of Omega copies will appear around the arena, and we need to quickly identify the male and female that are across from each other in a line. This is because these 2 will do 1 of 2 AoEs based on their model, and this needs to be dodged. Omega F will either have normal legs or blade legs, and Omega M will either have a shield or he will not. Female Omega will do a plus-shaped AoE with normal legs, or hit everything on either side of her with blade legs. Meanwhile, male Omega will do a donut AoE if he has a shield, or an AoE around him if he is shieldless. This makes for 4 possible patterns to look for, and only once this goes off can we go to our spread spots. If it is mid-glitch, just be across the eye from your partner, in between 2 of the waymarks, so the optimized fire doesn't kill you or your partner. If it is long glitch, the side that is not anchoring has to flip the order and go to the wall to get as much distance as possible. Before the bosses become targetable again, we have to deal with one more thing. 2 random players will get targeted with a stack marker that requires 4 people each. If the stacks are on opposite sides of the eye, then all is good, but since both can appear on the same side, we need a rule to adjust. It can be the stack closest or furthest from the eye, but whoever is adjusting needs their tether buddy to also adjust, to not only keep the stacks 4 and 4, but also to avoid being too close and getting the magic bolt. The party now has to meet in the middle of the arena and get knocked back by the female Omega in the center of the arena, while also dodging the 5 male Omegas doing an AoE around them. Find where there are 3 male Omegas next to each other, and use that as relative north. One group will always anchor left or right. We have our left group anchor for the spread, so that side always goes relative west for the knockback, and then the right group needs to go either relative east or south depending on the debuff. If the right group is going south, both parties need to slightly compress towards the marker or risk being too far, and if your angle is slightly off, there is enough time to adjust before the stacks resolve. Now once that is done, the bosses are generous and let you wail on them for a few seconds before casting Limitless Synergy. Upon completion of this cast bar, the party has a whole GCD to target both bosses again before female goes and becomes invincible. During this mechanic, more Omega copies will appear around the arena, and 2 of them will target a random party member with a tether and do a massive conal AoE that the tanks need to pick up and take away from the party. Another clone is going to cast a ranged LB3 at a random party member. If the party dodges through the boss towards one of the clones that had a tether and stays inside the Central Omega's hitbox, they should be fine from all of the AoEs. After that, 3 random players will get targeted by flare markers, but with shields and at least 40% mitigation, they can completely ignore this and stack them all in the center. The tanks need to find the Omega M with the shield and be the 2 closest, as he will shield lob one of them, knocking back anyone else hit that's not the primary target. After that, he will jump to the closest target with an untelegraphed stack. This is easy to handle. Everyone just finds where the tanks are positioned, and stacks with whoever didn't get hit with the shield lob, while that tank runs around behind, making sure they don't get hit and die to the stack. Finally, there is one more spicy raid line, and both bosses need to be brought to 0 health before Laser Shower finishes casting.